Recently, I've seen even rational people online saying, Eric Garner broke the law and paid the price. Michael Brown robbed a store and paid the price. Did they really pay the price, or did they pay about 1,000,000 times the price? Listen, I love a cigarillo as much as the next guy, but if they told me the price for a pack was certain death, I would turn those down, and I would write bad tweets about them. Of course, murder by police is extremely rare. However, black people paying a much, much higher price for small crimes is more common than mispronunciation of the name of my favorite bakery, Bone Pain. You should try the Bone Pain Bean Burger, all right? It's delish. You see, in New York City, stop and frisk is basically used as a weapon to make every black person feel like a criminal. And in nearly 90% of those people are completely innocent. In fact, during stop and frisks, cops only find something serious, like a firearm, 0.2% of the time. I could do better than that by walking around New York and going, "Can I kindly borrow someone's gun?" Some of the time, the cops do find things like open alcohol containers. But here's the thing. Some white people drink alcohol in public, too. In fact, I, Lee Camp, upright citizen, good Samaritan, lover of people, breeder of ladybugs, I have had a sip of whiskey while walking down a street before. Oh, whiskey, is there anywhere I won't follow you? From the times we've had in the toilet bowls of hell to the dark caverns of pantsless perversion, you complete me. That's right. If the NYPD had grabbed me, I would be a hardened criminal, which is not to be confused with a hard criminal, a.k.a. a peeping Tom. But when I did this dastardly deed, I had a getaway plan. I was white. In fact, I still am. And criming while white is pretty sweet. Only 4% of summonses for an open alcoholic beverage in NYC are given to white people, according to a public defender Matt Taibbi interviewed for his book, The Divide. That's because our law enforcement is strategically angled to catch a certain type of person in the dragnet of small or nothing crimes, which is the polite way of saying, racist. Want more proof? Tens of thousands of people of color in New York are ticketed for quote-unquote blocking pedestrian traffic each year. Funny thing about pedestrian traffic, it can go around other people. Rarely do you see two people on a sidewalk facing each other in a pedestrian traffic standoff. A crowd of spectators surrounding them going, man, that one guy's totally blocking pedestrian traffic, and that other guy, he's just not backing down. He's just not... No, usually, so the tickets for these offenses are designed to get the person, usually a black person, into the system, start a record, begin the prosecution of this person for having the audacity, the nerve, to be black in our society. So what's the result of these arrests? As Matt Taibbi put it, a single drug charge can ruin a person's chances of obtaining a student loan, a government job, housing aid, financial aid, right to vote. You can even have your kids taken away. So rather than helping a villainous pot smoker avoid drugs, this type of policing ruins lives. And what do you need when your life has been ruined? A hit from the bong, man! A blast to the J! A tango with the Tijuana torpedo! As Taibbi says, this over-policing gives an entire segment of the population a criminal record essentially in advance, so that one false move leads to real jail time. We have criminalized being black in America. I mean, I have white friends who smoke pot. In fact, I can't think of any white person who doesn't smoke pot. Maybe Nancy Pelosi, all right? All right? I'm kidding, she's totally baked. But most of the time, white people aren't scooped up by the cops. You're telling me white people don't block pedestrian traffic? Trust me, Chris Christie blocks pedestrian traffic, all right? He even blocks sunlight, okay? A characteristic usually reserved for black holes, but he's still not arrested because he's a white guy, even though he's a black hole. He's a white black hole. Most importantly, no cop ever thinks about the collateral consequences of these arrests, all the job opportunities or public assistance lost. They don't care. which is in stark contrast to the white-collar criminals inside the banks on Wall Street. The whole idea of too big to jail is that collateral consequences are too great to prosecute a criminal bank. So a bunch of bankers losing their jobs is too large a price to pay, but millions of African Americans having their lives upended, and sometimes just ended, that collateral damage doesn't matter at all.